What's up, guys?
You suck!
I would try to put daily.
But you know what? Late is better than never. And we're starting now.
Are you serious right now?
I bought a new funded account and I'm going to be documenting it on this channel. Today, I have my charts open. As you like that? Huh? Like that transition?
Make it the fuck!
I'm not going to be editing like that the whole video unless you really want me to. I'm just trying to make it engaging so you guys are somewhat interested in doing this stuff. Now it's time to get to the important part. I'm going to be documenting this account. I have the trade I took. If you know anything about trading, you know what you're looking at, kind of. It might be a little complicated even if you do. If you don't know anything about trading, don't get discouraged because once you understand it, you get it. Today's video is just going to be a recap of the day, how I saw it, and the trade I made. So I'm going to get into it. So I have a new rule where I don't get onto the charts until 9:30 open. So today I actually, 6:30 a.m. our time, Pacific time, that's my time. But New York open is 9:30. So I actually woke up at 6:33 and then jumped onto my laptop and was looking. So we had CPI news. That means we shot up and created what's called a devil's mark. I didn't have it labeled, but that was my draw on liquidity. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, what the hell is a devil's mark? What the hell is a draw on liquidity? And what the hell are you talking about? And that's fair, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. And I can get into that. But for those of you who do know, this will be a good explanation. Now, like I said, I was up looking, and I saw this resting liquidity that we had with the other equities. So ES, we had this resting liquidity, and we had it too on YM. I didn't have it labeled on YM. But I was watching both of these. I was expecting what's called a SMT with these, but we swept it on both. And my actual entry was based off of a 5-minute PSP. Now, a PSP is what's called a precision swing point. And this candle right here, I have an indicator that if I, activate it, it turns pink when that candle, I just pointed at my screen. It turns pink when it's a PSP. That basically means on NQ it closed up, or on ES it closed down. They're different. It's just you'll get it. So basically, I had that in mind. I was like, okay, the CE, consequent encroachment, 50% of that PSP is kind of where I'm guessing. It's above resting liquidity, plays in with my bias. That's where I'm expecting price to go. And like I said, my draw on liquidity, which basically means where I think the market is going to go, and I can get more into that in another video, was down here because of this news devil's mark. So basically I had a short bias and I was looking for a reason to enter. Now let's go back to the 1 minute time frame. Go back. So I was watching. I was expecting to enter before these highs got taken with a stop loss at the highs, but it was so close that the SMT really didn't play out. But what did happen was a shorter term SMT while tapping the PSP. So if you notice right here, the highest candle on ES is 9:40 a.m. But the highest candle on NQ is 9:43 a.m. That's what's called a SMT divergence. Now, divergence, that means there's a difference. So there's a difference between the two tickers. Basically, NQ made a higher high, ES made a lower high, which means they're different, which is usually a telltale sign that there's going to be a reversal or at least a rejection. So that was key number one. And then number two, I didn't enter off of the 50% of the PSP, although I did have it labeled and did have it in mind. I wasn't fully confident we'd get all the way up there, but we did. So my entry was 97, so let's put this here. And I remember I had a 15-point stop loss. So this funded account, this is fake money, not real money. 1,500 profit on the day. Basically, funded accounts, you get to 3,000 profit, then you unlock trading on a real money account. Once you know what you're doing, it's not that difficult to pass the account. The only thing in your way is psychology 90% of the time. So this was my stop loss, and I had it this big because I was expecting price to, I didn't have a specific place where I thought it would reverse. Now it was actually 50% of this PSP, it was 1 point off, which is very good accuracy. You know, you don't need to be that accurate to be profitable. Now, I don't need to have that labeled. My take profit was 75 points simply because of a consistency rule. Consistency rule on the funded account, which means I can't make more than a certain amount in a day. Otherwise, I have to be consistent profits rather than one day to make all the profit. Like, obviously, if I held all the way down to where I thought it was going to go, I would have just passed the account in one day, but they don't allow that, minimum of 2 days, so I had to make less. So I did that, obviously, but basically that's the recap. Now I have these levels, which some of you saw. I actually top ticked, if you know what that means, to the tick, but I was asleep, I didn't enter. And top ticking is overrated. For all of you new traders, get this in your head early. You don't need the flashy setup. You don't need to compare dicks and have the coolest system, or, you know, it doesn't matter how complicated your stuff is. You can make money off of simple stuff. I've chosen to not do so simple because I genuinely am passionate and enjoy trading. This is like my favorite. This is my hobby. It's my only hobby, apart from golfing, I guess. But so this was what I did. There were a lot. Where did that just? Shit. All right, my bad. I don't know where that just went. Oh. All right. Anyways, so that's a recap of my trade. Now we're gonna go into more a recap of the day. So I'm just gonna, just go on to NQ, and this is yesterday. So this, I have this labeled. It's first presented for value gap. Don't worry about it. I didn't use it. But like I said, we got down to our draw, and then we reached what I had labeled 50% of another PSP, of the hourly PSP. Notice how it turns pink when I activate it. That means it's a PSP. So it closed up on NQ, meaning it closed, but it's a PSP, which means it closed down on ES or YM. So that's a precision swing point. That's a good area to buy or sell, whichever bias you have. So it ticked it to the point. I was already off the charts. I made my money for the day. I actually went back to bed, and then I think I watched some stable Ronaldo. I don't know. I got back in bed. So that was that. Now, a way you could have identified a bullish bias was the fact that we had an SMT down here. Notice the lowest low here, or sorry, on the day, which started this time right here. This little, so anything to, keep pointing at my screen, anything to the right of this line is the current day. So notice the lowest point is 1 a.m. here, but here it's 7 a.m. That's another SMT. So you can have this labeled. Notice we have a SMT divergence at the lows, and it's a PSP wick. That's a very high confluence. That's a secured low. So a really good trade, an A+ trade, and one that I probably would have taken if I needed to take another trade. I was done for the day. I didn't get greedy or anything like that. Was this long. Now another way to identify that this was a good trade. Let me just delete this. This is all kind of noise. We don't need all this on the screen. I don't want to distract anybody. So another reason why is what's called an inside candle. Now, an inside candle is basically, let's see this, look at this big ass fat candle, and then notice a little small one inside. All right, this high doesn't take out the previous high, and this low doesn't take out the previous low. So that's what's called an inside candle. It's also known as an accumulation candle. Now, a lot of you don't know what the hell I'm saying, and that's totally fine. But when it comes to that, that's a really good sign that once one side gets swept, once the next candle goes below that, it's going to very often return back to the high and then continue going. It's power of 3, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Again, I'll do videos on this stuff if you guys want me to. I know a lot of you have no clue what the hell I'm saying. So, yeah. But basically, once this hourly candle closed, which I have the low and the high labeled, a new hourly candle opened, and it swept the low, tapped into this level, which was 50% of the PSP, SMT, you know, whatever confluence you are comfortable with using, that's right there. And then that's plays into our bias of, okay, it's probably going to go to the high now because it was an inside candle. And then on the higher time frame, it's an upwards curve, which is, again, something I can get into. all-time highs, economy's doing great, all kind of stuff going on. So that just played into the bias perfectly. I caught the manipulation down. You could have cut the distribution up. It's all preference. It really is situational, and there's no right answer to trading. A lot of people get that wrong. There's no one concept or method or understanding that is correct, just like there's no such thing as one that's wrong. Now, certainly ones that are ass, certainly ones that are better when it comes to accuracy, but just because it's ass, okay, there's certainly ones that are a lot simpler and certainly ones that are a lot more advanced when it comes to entries or exact pinpoint areas of reversal. Like right here, I had 0 drawdown. I literally, if I entered this trade, I would have taken no, you know, that's, you can't be more right than this level right here. I didn't take that trade though. That's, you know, that's just flashy stuff, you know. Just because you can do that doesn't mean you can execute off of it. And that's all what a lot of the TikTok traders and all that kind of stuff. I'm showing you executions and what I did, not trying to show off anything. So again, down here, same thing. But the point of it, the point I'm trying to get at is a lot of people get into trading because they see the flashy $10,000 days, $50,000 days, whatever, crazy stuff. And that's not what it's about. It's simply about making a good trade, making a trade that makes you proud, okay? Forget the profit, forget the money. Focus on making a trade that you're proud of, and the money will come, I promise. So, like I said, this was the trade that I made. What else do I want to show? One of my favorite confluences is standard deviation, and I believe standard deviation caught this fairly well. Yeah. So this 623 level was amazing. 50% of the hourly PSP, which I've showed you. It also has negative 2.5 of the standard deviation, which I can make a video on that. SMT with these lows, as you can see, notice, you know, 822, all these lows are not swept on ES. It doesn't even get close. That's another SMT. Stuff like that. These are the type of things that I look for. And as an untrained eye, you have no clue what you're looking at, or you do. You know, it depends on your experience. But this is what I see. Okay. After this, I was done. Made my money and got it out. That's kind of it. Watch this. Yeah.
Are you serious right now, bro?
So that's what I did today. This is kind of the format that I'm going to be doing hopefully every day. I'm not going to make any promises because I did that last time, and yeah, you know how that went down. I hope you enjoyed this little recap of my trade of the day, what I saw. Hopefully it gives you a little motivation or inspiration to try and put some time into this and learn. Tell me in the comments what you would like to see, what format videos, whether it's just recaps of my trades, just recaps of the day, and then the basics of trading and the concepts that I use, because it's a lot easier to learn when you see someone doing it rather than, you know, watching videos. I'm very happy to give lots of examples and, you know, teach what I know, because I just want to see people succeed. At the end of the day, a lot of people want to gatekeep and you know, act like they're better than people. I don't care about any of that. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe, do all that stuff. Comment what videos you'd like to see in the future, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.